heart of it, we have a business account that is the only Schedule 1 available account that pays you interest, that has no monthly fee. It is your own money. So just like a debit card, you're not going to accidentally miss a credit card payment and then incur interest or late fees. But it's a MasterCard, so it'll have the benefit of being widely accepted online.
In 2026, protecting a scaling startup or mid-market firm from hidden corporate bank fees, stagnant deposit yields requires moving past legacy brick-and-mortar setups.
Great business banking needs to focus on giving money and time back to entrepreneurs so that they can do what they do best, which is growing their business.
Hi everyone, this is Maheen and welcome to the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast. Today we break down digital banking infrastructure, micro-enterprise cash flow maximization models, and the modern financial tools that are required to eliminate systemic barriers for independent business owners. Because in 2026, protecting a scaling startup or mid-market firm from hidden corporate bank fees, stagnant deposit yields, and excessive credit restrictions requires moving past legacy brick-and-mortar setups to deploy high-interest business accounts, automated tech sub-ledgers, and card systems with zero credit checks. Joining us is Cathy Ly, the Vice President of Small Business Banking at EQ Bank. Cathy is an elite financial services executive, consumer-directed open banking strategist, and former entrepreneur who successfully founded and operated the homewares company Merchant Sons, having held core leadership positions across customer experience, marketing, and corporate operations. She now directs the growth strategy for the business banking suite at EQ Bank, Canada's challenger bank. EQ Bank offers innovative digital-first personal and business banking services and is part of the Equitable Bank, a Schedule 1 bank and the country's 7th largest bank by assets. It is held by EQB Inc., a leading publicly traded financial services company with about $150 billion in combined assets. So lots to unpack and uncover in this conversation. Without a further ado, let's welcome our guest, Cathy. Cathy, it's an absolute pleasure having you on the show today. Welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Very pleased to have you with us. Now, Cathy, I mentioned a lot in my intro. It was a very loaded, packed intro with lots that we will be covering for our listeners today. But let's open our discussion by understanding the challenging flaws of legacy commercial banking models, because a massive, highly frustrating financial hurdle hitting our entrepreneurial market is that traditional Schedule 1 banks, they continue to squeeze micro enterprises with high monthly maintenance fee and zero return on their operating deposits. Tell us what inspired you to enter business banking and how did EQ Bank address this entrepreneur's frustration?
Mm-hmm. So we're really inspired by our own customers. EQ Bank has been around for 10 years now, and we've had this mission of remaking banking to help Canadians get ahead every day. And now we're at nearly 4 million customers. Many of them are small business owners who have been asking for bringing EQ Bank to their business banking. And that really resonated with me because, as you mentioned in the intro, I was formerly a small business owner. And I remember how expensive and frustrating it was to deal with my traditional bank. So we really, took those frustrations and thought, how can we remake what business banking can look like? So at the heart of it, we have a business account that is the only Schedule 1 available account that pays you interest, that has no monthly fee, and has free transactions. So that in of itself is a very different offering in the market.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, we really want to think about how modern entrepreneurs operate, right? Like you don't want to be bound to a branch, having to only do your banking from 9 to 5. So we really thought about how can the digital experience be better? How can we make it really easy for you to sign up? No need for a branch visit or a phone appointment. If you have all of your documents, it just takes about 10 minutes to sign up online. And then once you get an account, you'll see that there's a very easy, intuitive digital experience for you to do all of your banking.
Right.
So that's really been our focus is to help entrepreneurs save time, save money with better banking.
That perspective, it completely shifts the dynamic of corporate commercial treasury, really wiping out this unnecessary monthly account cost and offering everyday digital accessibility that removes the silent cash leaks that hold back small businesses. So thank you for all that you're doing, Cathy. Now let's closely look at your latest national product release and break down how it changes the spending rules for growing firms. Kathy, how does a new business card help owners earn interest and cash back on their balances?
This is our latest new product, as you mentioned. So we just launched this a month ago. We were getting a lot of feedback from customers that, they loved earning interest and not having to pay fees on that bank account, but they wanted an easier way to make everyday payments.
Mhm.
So that's how the card was born. It's a reloadable prepaid MasterCard. You earn interest on the balance on that card, just as you do with your account, and then can also earn 0.5% cash back when you spend more than $10,000. A lot of customers ask us, why is it a prepaid MasterCard and not a debit card? Because they're used to getting a debit card from their traditional bank. And it really comes back to value. We think that with this prepaid card, you kind of get the best of debit and credit. It is your own money. So just like a debit card, you're not going to accidentally miss a credit card payment and then incur interest or late fees. You're able to manage your own cash. But it's a MasterCard, so it'll have the benefit of being widely accepted online, widely accepted around the world, and with much better FX conversion fees when you use the card internationally. So again, it's another example of how we think about remaking banking with something that is different and that provides more value.
Mhm.
It takes a little bit to get used to because you have to load the card or you have to set up some rules to auto load it. But the feedback we've been getting from customers has been really encouraging.
That is a brilliant structural upgrade for managing daily operational outlays, really allowing a firm's working cash to actively generate revenue right up until the exact second it is spent. Completely redefines back office capital efficiency. Now, Kathy, let's transition directly into data metrics and examine the raw financial environment currently facing independent solopreneurs. Tell us, how does your platform remove banking barriers for solopreneurs with free transactions and no credit check?
I think the barriers to banking for solopreneurs has less to do with access to banking and more to do with how much cost, friction, and complexity comes with it.
Mhm.
So, a really good example is this idea of no monthly fees. There are other banks that say they have no monthly fees. And then if you follow the asterisks and all of the footnotes down to the bottom of the fine print, you'll see that you're actually paying for individual everyday transactions. So that's something that we wanted to remake and have truly a no monthly fee account where you get free unlimited bill payments, free unlimited tax payments, free unlimited electronic fund transfers, and up to 50 outgoing or 100 incoming Interac transfers. So it's very clear what exactly is free with our no monthly fee account. So that's sort of like one area that's really important to us.
Mhm.
The other thing is like around credit checks. This is not a credit product, it's a deposit account. So we don't need to do a credit check. But more importantly, we really wanted to ask just the minimum questions that we are required to from regulations to get you an account. Rather than, asking for a credit check, asking for all sorts of other information to basically upsell you or cross sell you into other products, which is an experience that a lot of entrepreneurs face when they go into a branch. We just want to get you started with the product that you're looking for as quickly as we can.
Those accessible digital account options that you just mentioned, Kathy, they seem to offer such a magnificent blueprint for economic inclusion, allowing an entrepreneur to really set up distinct sub accounts to track their GST and do a lot of other things, from the year and tax surprises point of view. To all the business owners that are watching, allowing high monthly account fee or idle checking balances to drain your operating runway is a critical mistake in 2026. Engineered under the strategic direction of Cathy Ly, EQ Bank Business Banking delivers a zero fee, high interest business account featuring instant digital card deployment and up to 10 automated sub accounts for tax and payroll tracking. So maximize your returns on every hard earned dollar and activate your business card today by visiting eqbank.ca/business to unlock the challenger model right now. We'll be right back. Next, Cathy reveals how digital business meets real human support for small business owners.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us. You still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep. Healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah. Well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep. That's all us. That's all UPS.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's dive into how EQ Bank keeps solopreneurs in control with smart, human-centered banking. Now let's shift our focus to understanding the human side of banking and really get to know how EQ Bank is supporting and what is coming up next. Cathy, tell us, how is EQ Bank supporting the customer service segment of things, and what is next for EQ Bank?
Yeah, I mean, on service, this is one of the things that I'm probably most proud of. A lot of people, when they hear digital bank, they assume that the service is going to be worse than what they can get walking into a branch. And we really wanted to rethink that because honestly, you can get bad service at a branch too, right? We do have AI tools, right? So we have an AI chatbot that's available 24/7. But there's a team of real humans behind that bot that's constantly training that model to ensure that customers are getting good answers. We also have a dedicated team that's based in Canada that focuses on business banking. And I really love how we work with this team. I personally know all of our contact center agents who support business. They have a direct channel to the product team so that we're constantly getting that feedback from the front line. And those folks are available 7 days a week from 8 a.m. until midnight Eastern time, which is better than what you can get at a branch. So I think there is a way to do good service digitally, and that I want small business owners to know that there's actually a real team of people behind all of this technology that helps them. And, we are continuing to invest in small business. We actually have a product launch coming up in August. We're going to be launching a US dollar account. And true to everything that we do at EQ Bank, it's really focused on providing more time, more money back to the small business owner. So it will be an interest bearing US account, which is pretty rare in the market. Again, it will be no monthly fee, and it will have a very competitive FX rate if you need to be exchanging Canadian US dollars. We had a customer tell us that they had a personal US account at a traditional bank and a business account, and they actually couldn't move money in between those two accounts, even though they were with the same bank. That certainly is not going to happen at EQ. You'll have an unlimited number of transactions between your personal and business account, as well as with like any other business account that you have in Canada. There will be unlimited electronic funds transfers. So, really excited to see that product launch in about a month.
That is super exciting, and it's quite close to what we know. And I hope that our listeners will find value in it. Before, you were mentioning a lot about the customer experience part of things as well, and that completely elevates the customer experience benchmark for digital institutions. And it's great to know that an actual financial specialist is available behind the scenes to really bring real security back into business technology. Now let's pull your entire history as an entrepreneur and banking strategist together into an immediate, practical operational step for our audience. Cathy, what is the most practical step for business owners to protect their cash and segment funds this week?
I think the number one thing that all business owners should be doing is taking a look at, what they're paying for their banking and what are they getting in return. Because I think like many entrepreneurs, I didn't think about this when I had my small business. I just assumed it was a cost of doing business that I would have to pay $50 a month for some basic banking features. And I assume that you don't earn interest on, something like a checking account. But really, you're leaving money on the table, right? And there's so many better options out there. Certainly, I'm biased to EQ Bank, but there are also a lot of other innovators that are looking at how do you bring more value to small business owners. So, number one, I think, take the 30 minutes to assess like what exactly are you getting
Mhm.
for what you're paying. I think the other thing is you mentioned a little bit is having a role for all of your money, like having a purpose for every dollar. One of the features that our customers really love is that sub account. You can open up to 10 free sub accounts at EQ Bank and basically use that to park your corporate year end taxes, park your HST payments, park your payroll dollars so that you don't accidentally spend your business money that already has a job to be done, right? So that's just one example of little digital features that we have to make managing your money a lot easier. And the last thing I will say is around protecting your cash is to really understand how your deposits are actually insured. So with a CDIC member institution, which EQ Bank and many of the all of the big banks are, you have the protection of your funds being insured by the CDIC if the bank should fail, which already is a very rare thing to happen given the amount of regulations that we have. With some of the fintechs, your funds are at a CDIC member institution in trust, but you need to be careful because the experience will be different if that fintech runs into any financial difficulties.
Mhm.
So there's some nuances there, but I think you work really hard for your money, so you need to understand what those nuances are when it comes to deposit insurance.
Well, that provides such a clear, extraordinarily clear, and valuable starting framework for our audience. Instantly moving your tax reserves into such a dedicated high interest sub account, it ensures that your money keeps working for you until the exact day that your payments are due. This was such an informative and insightful conversation with you, Cathy. Really appreciate your time that you spent with us today. As a wrap up now, tell us, how can business banking serve as a catalyst for small business success this year?
I think great business banking needs to focus on giving money and time back to entrepreneurs so that they can do what they do best, which is growing their business, right? So surely for us, it's about, paying interest on those deposits, avoiding monthly fees. A lot of customers or friends, they tell me, I only pay $10 a month. Like, what's the big deal?
Mm.
But if you look at the balances that are not earning any interest and that monthly fee, depending on how big your business is, that could be $500 a year.
Right.
$500 that you could use to buy more ads, that you could use to get tools that help with your productivity. Um, you know, we spend so much time like kind of trying to save a dollar here, a dollar there. Like, don't get guacamole with your burrito.
Mm.
But yet we overlook, all that we're spending or leaving on the table with banking. So I think definitely banks should focus on how do they return that value to entrepreneurs, and then certainly time is even more valuable, right? So if through better customer service, not having to wait on hold, an easier digital experience, not having to go to the branch, if we can save even an hour a week for that entrepreneur, it's time back for them to grow their craft, to grow their business. So that's what we're really focused on is just giving time and money back to small business owners.
That is a spectacular final reminder that true corporate resilience relies on moving past the outdated legacy banking models and utilizing transparent digital accounts to secure your cash and ensuring that every transaction returns value directly to your business pocket. Thank you so much, Cathy, for sharing your mastery with us today and for being so detailed and thorough. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
And that was Cathy Ly from EQ Bank showing us how to collapse the expensive errors of traditional business banking, leverage innovative products like EQ Bank's business banking platform, and recently launched prepaid, reloadable MasterCard to maximize operating interest, and explore products from a challenger and innovator like EQ Bank that can help protect small business margins in 2026. Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. Please be sure to subscribe and visit CanadianSME.ca for more resources. And to learn more about how we're supporting the ecosystem, please visit Canadian SME Small Business Foundation at smbefoundation.ca. A special shout out to UPS and ADP for their ongoing commitment to empowering small businesses across Canada. Join us next week as we explore our next critical business topic. Until next time, please keep innovating and keep growing.